It's no secret that I like Linux, but what is a Linux liker to do when you're stuck on Windows 98? Well, today we're installing the Windows subsystem for Linux 2001 style, so stay tuned. And if you enjoy increasingly unusual ways to install Linux, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. So I spotted this rather alluring bit of big box software at this year's spring VCF East swap meet. I swear you can find anything at that place. And who could resist this box? Bootleg Tux the Penguin, giant red and white text, basically screaming, Linux for Windows! But the closer I looked at this box, the more excited I got. First of all, apparently this is Linux Mandrake, the famously fantastic and friendly French distro, which also famously got sued by a comic book maker who had a superhero named Mandrake. Seems like a bit of a stretch. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. If you want to hear some more weird old Linux lore, make sure you stick around for later in the video. But for right now, let's make sure that this Pentium 2 PC even still works. Uh-oh, the Samsung phone I use as my teleprompter just died. And my iPad that I use for my camera controller. If only there was some sponsor out there that I could use to charge both of these things, and one additional thing. Oh, hey look, it's the brand new Anker Prime, the world's most compact 160-watt multi-port charger. Anker has recently been doing a bit of an AMA with these things.
Ask me everything.
Yes, we are here for your curiosity.
Does fast charging harm your phone battery? Why does my charger has a screen?
Come on, right in. Ask me anything. Ask me Anchor. And trust me, we are here to spill the tea.
One of these issues is actually something that I've dealt with in the past myself. Does a higher wattage power supply actually charge a device faster? Charging isn't always faster just because the wattage is higher. It depends on how much power the device itself actually needs and how much the charger can actually deliver. But what about when you split that through multiple devices? You see, with most standard multi-port chargers, the power allocation between each of these ports is fixed. So if one port's charging a phone that's already full, that unused power is generally just lost. But this Anker Prime works differently. The device ID is detected and matched, not just the protocol type, and the output is stabilized for the detected device. Every 2 minutes, this thing adapts to your device's needs and dynamically redistributes the power of these ports. This thing is actually perfectly situated for my studio because I have 2 rechargeable LED lights that are on all the time and shouldn't have constant power sent to them, and I'm going to use this to charge my camera controller iPad. So if you want to power your devices and power them correctly, check out the link down in my description below because Anker really is the way to go. Alright, before we go through all the trouble of powering this thing on, we ought to open it up and make sure it still has like a hard drive in it. Alright, we've got 2 screws on the back, only one of which is currently screwed in. That's a good sign. Well, I already spy something a little bit suspicious. We have ourselves an Apple-branded CD-ROM drive in here. Have I been in here before? The clues point to yes. But everything is plugged in, and we have a hard drive. Who knows if that's original or even still works. Original power supply, which somehow still works. And our absolutely beautiful Pentium 2 on the old-school Pentium 2 daughter cards inside the plastic here, with the heat sinks on the outside. I just love these old Pentium 2s. You know, the CPU basically inside of a convoluted Nintendo cartridge. I don't know why we don't do this anymore. This is much cooler than how we do things today. Yeah, we have one PCI Ethernet card, 2 sticks of RAM for probably 64 megs of RAM, and a video card of a kind of a strange description. It's an ATI Rage Pro. Perhaps not the gaming powerhouse we were hoping for, but we're not playing games. We're installing Linux on Windows. So according to this absolutely glorious box here, it's only 3 easy steps to running Linux on a Windows machine. No disk partitioning or reformatting needed. The most current version of Linux Mandrake, which of course doesn't exist anymore, so perhaps it is still technically the most current version of Linux Mandrake. All right, so we have to insert disk and restart. That's a little weird. Creates a virtual disk image. I mean, is this just basically like a virtual machine? Seems good. According to the specs on the bottom here, 32 megs of RAM, 64 recommended for the X Windows system, which we will definitely need. It requires Windows 95, 98, or ME, so I guess we should see what our computer boots into currently, if anything. All right, let's see if this glorious NEC PowerMate 8100 still works, or if we're gonna need that fire extinguisher. It lives! Oh, it's booting Windows 98! Yes! Oh yeah, that Windows 98's just fine. Oh my god, stop. I bet that music is copywritten. Anyway, time for Linux for Windows. And this box has actually never been opened. Look at that, still sealed. Just crack this bad boy open. Oh, yes. Oh, look at all this good stuff we have. Here's the disc that says Mandrake Soft. Shove this into our Apple branded, oh my god, it sounds horrible. Apple branded CD-ROM drive. You take Linux. Got a getting started manual. Boring. Read me first. Boring. Linux for Windows installation guide. All right, got it. Oh my god, if that isn't a work of art, I don't know what is. Look at that. Bootleg Tux the Penguin with crudely drawn Windows logo. I want this framed. Maybe I should get this as a tattoo. All right, we've got a quick install guide, Linux Mandrake tutorial, create boot diskette, or my favorite option, exit. Guess we'll do a quick install guide. Do I need a boot diskette? Oh my god, it opens Internet Explorer. Install instructions in quite a lot of languages. Guess we'll go to good old English. Needs a Pentium processor, we've got that. CD-ROM drive, got that. 64 megs of RAM, pretty sure that's what we've got. VISA 2.0 compliant graphics card, probably. You can also install Linux Mandrake onto a Windows 95, 98 ME system using Linux for Windows. Disk does not require partitioning. It installs Linux in a Windows folder. Yes, that sounds awesome. We have to boot from the CD, press F1, type Linux for Win at the prompt. What do you have to do all this weird stuff for? All right, I'm sure that's not online anymore, so take a picture of these instructions. Exit this, let's restart. That's a rather lovely boot screen. Oh yeah, look at all that memory we have. Ah, booted right into Windows. That's not right. Guess we're gonna have to do this the hard way and use the plop boot manager to force this to boot from the CD. Maybe this doesn't want to boot from the CD because it's an Apple branded CD-ROM drive. I don't know. It's probably fine. Plop is awesome. I'll link it below. It's technically a Linux distro that runs on just about anything. All right, it's booting into Plop right here. It's a really incredible bit of software, actually. So we can go down to CD-ROM and tell it to boot from the CD-ROM, and there it goes. Linux Mandrake, look, it's working. F1. Oh, we have to press F1. I almost missed it. Oh, this tells us right here. Linux for Win for standard graphical installation using Linux for Windows. Well, that is what I want. LNX for Win. Easy to remember mnemonic? Not really. Oh, I'm starting to get excited. Look at that. Look. Oh my god, I love this Linux Mandrake Linux initializing CD-ROM, which is weird because we're booted from it. All right, well, that's certainly not a good sign. I don't know what the invalid argument is, but I think it should argue it again. This shouldn't happen, and I'm rebooting your system now. Oh gee, thanks, Mandrake. All right, let's go into setup and see if we can't put the CD-ROM as the first boot device, because maybe it didn't like plop. All right, first boot device is going to be the CD-ROM drive. Removable devices, hard drive, perfect. Let's see if we can Mandrake now. Oh, it's doing it. Okay, F1. And then we need to boot LNX for Win. Don't you make me read this installation guide. I don't want to do that. Okay, it says initializing CD-ROM. The CD-ROM is making a bunch of weird noises. I have a good feeling about this. No, Mandrake, why are you doing this to me? Oh, no. Let's try something else. All right, let's try this from inside Windows. Oh, it sounds horrible. Let's try the create a boot floppy option. All right, create boot diskette. Warning, all data on the diskette will be erased. Perfect. Oh, this is raw write. I need an image file. Okay, images. I guess boot.image. Error writing to disk. I guess that's not an image. my god, you're really gonna make me read this freaking book. According to this, I need cd-rom.img. CD-ROM, we'll write that to floppy. Error writing to disk. All right, it says floppy borked. That's all right, more where that came from. Oh my goodness. Mandrake. All right, I found a floppy disk it seems to like. I have a good feeling about this. All right, in setup here, we'll go back to movable devices first, then hard drive, and then CD-ROM. Now I'll leave CD-ROM as second. Who knows? Maybe that'll be good. Hopefully this boots off the floppy. Oh, it's looking promising. Sys Linux 148 F1. Wait. Look, this doesn't actually say Linux for Win now. What? LNX for Win. All right, well, it is working. All right, booting into Linux Mandrake, initializing CD-ROM. Dear Lord, please work. Yes, it did it. We're that much closer to what I assume is an excellent Linux experience. Okay, second stage install. Probing the serial ports. We need our serial. Oh, this is it. The installer. Look at all these things it has to do. Well, we'll blow through this without reading the manual. English, accept. It's an install. Root partition size, swap partition size in megabytes. Just says choose the sizes. So hopefully this is going to make a 400 megabyte file, creating and formatting the file. Okay, linuxsys.img. All right, good. We're not accidentally erasing Windows 98, which I was slightly worried about doing. My goodness, I love this little help icon down here. Help! Oh yeah, looking for available packages. I think it's installing. Didn't ask me to confirm anything. That's probably fine. Yeah, it's doing it. Installing. Hopefully this does not take forever. And jump cut to configure networking. How do you want to connect to the internet? Well, if I was smart, I would say, don't connect to the internet. But we are connected to our local network here, DHCP. Let's see if that works. Host name here will be, I don't know, Necky. All right, New York. Set a root password, all right, something nice and secure. Definitely not just the word action in all lowercase. Real name. I don't like to use my real name on the internet, but for you, Mandrake, I will do it. Icon. Oh my god, we've got all these icons. Oh, look at this. Oh, I'm going with Chef Hat. All right. Preparing bootloader. I don't think we need a bootloader, friend. We're booting inside Windows. Oh, it's configuring the X Windows system. We are almost there. Starting to get real excited. Installation is complete. Remove the boot media. All right, we'll take out our floppy disk. So this should boot back into Windows, inside of which we can run Linux. Well, after a quick reboot, I did not expect to see Grub, an ancient grub, giving me all these weird options, including Linux non-frame buffer, and Windows. So I guess we use Grub to boot into Windows. ScanDisk is not happy about something. Cancel that. So I suppose we can, in essence, boot into Windows and run Linux inside of Windows, or boot Linux directly. That's pretty freaking weird. All right, strong and secure password. And here's Windows. Where is Linux? Let's see, programs. No, where's my Linux? Here's my Linux. Do we just run this? Oh my god, it's doing it. Okay, so this is a little different than I expected it to run. It's actually booting Linux full screen. I wonder if we can go back and forth between Windows and Linux after this boots. All right, guide. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Oh, here we go. Let's see. All right, what do we have here? Session type, KDE, IceWM, no GNOME. I do like IceWM, but let's say KDE for now. Login failed. All right, root. I guess I didn't make a user account. Oh, this old KDE is beautiful. Yeah, here we are. We're in KDE. Candolph's useful tips. Wonder why they stopped using that. All right, so we are in Mandrake Linux. Are we online? http frogfind.com. We are not online. Do we have ifconfig? Yes, but we don't see the network card. Oh, all right, well, you know, Linux used to be not as easy as it is today. So according to the manual here, it is not very helpful at all. Doesn't say anything about how to get back into Windows. I think this is more like a dual boot environment in that we can boot into Linux after booting into Windows, or we can boot into Linux directly without booting Windows, which I guess is kind of cool. And we can get into Windows shares. Yeah, this sees the Ethernet controller. It's a 3COM 3C905B. I don't know why it doesn't want to use it. Cannot find the demon. Maybe we can do some internet connection settings. Nope. All right, configure local network. All right, I guess I'll just make up an IP address. 192.168.1.84. All right, restart the network. Did we do it? We have ping. Yes, ping triple ones. Network unreachable. We are not on the internet. I'll turn that off. Give this 87. All right, now let's give this a different DNS server. 1.1.1.1. Gateway, that should be correct. No proxies. Restart the network. Ping Cloudflare. Network unreachable. 192.168.1.1. No, you can't see anything. Huh. Well, that's too bad. I don't see anything in here about getting back to Windows, so we will quit. Oh, I do love this KDE bar. I like that there's an amusement option, toys, and Craiglow. What's Craiglow? A ruler? How is this amusement? Aside from the weird bugs, this is hardly amusing. That's fine. Got applications, boring, configuration, boot and init, drag floppy, no. Yeah, I don't think you can get back to Windows. Maybe if we log out. Okay, be back to Windows. Okay, shut down, restart X server, console mode. I guess we say shut down. Are you gonna give me back to Windows? I have a feeling you're gonna shut down entirely. Welp, just straight up shut down. All right, I guess maybe let's see what happens if we boot through Grub directly into Linux. Yes, lovely splash screen. Keeps complaining about date and time. No one cares about your date and time. All right, so instead of Windows, we're gonna pick Linux and boot directly into Linux, which I don't know why you would need all this other hoopla if you can just boot directly into Linux. Why do you need to boot into Windows first and then boot directly into Linux from Windows if you can't get back to Windows? And I've not seen this screen before. Look at this guy, he's so freaking happy. We have like a red Amiga mouse or something. What a weird startup. It brought up the network interface. Look at that, bring up interface Eth0. Wouldn't that be interesting if networking works if you don't boot into Windows first, but doesn't work if you go from Windows into the Linux install? All right, let's log in directly as root, just as Linus intended. All right, are we connected to the internet? Ping Cloudflare. We are now connected. Can we ping Google? Ha, take that, Google. You've been pinged by a mandrake. I take it that means we can browse the web now. Here's Conqueror. Let's go to frogfind.com. Frogfind.com might actually be down at the moment because people keep trying to scrape the site and taking it down. This is why we can't have nice things. Let's give Frogfind a second to go. Maybe Conqueror is the problem. Netscape Communicator. Let's try Frogfind from in here. Oh yeah, okay, Netscape likes Frogfind much better. It's good to see that Frogfind is still up. Despite all those people trying to scrape it, please stop trying to scrape Frogfind. This is a hobby project and it cannot handle your stupid scrapers. All right, let's see. Let's go back into Linux from Windows and see if networking still works. So shut down, restart. My goodness, look at this screen. Beautiful. All right, grub menu. Windows. Good old Windows 98. So yeah, we've just got the Linux option, Linux for Win or Linux for Win. Are these just icons? Oh no, that's an application. Oh geez, okay. And then we have uninstall. So last time I did this shortcut to, I suppose, this batch file. I guess let's see. What does this batch file do? Okay, it does the VM Linux and stuff, memory 128 megs, root 0707. Okay, so I suppose we can't actually do this exe file. Are you ready to boot under Linux? Yes. Okay, you can do the exe file. This is a weird bit of software. You might have expected that just from this box. Weird. All right, back into Mandrake Linux, this time from Windows. Do we have internet? No, look at that. Maybe Windows isn't playing nice with giving control of the network card back. Yeah, we really don't have it. If config does not show the network card, that's kind of a big problem. What is the point of booting into Windows and then into Linux from Windows if features are missing compared to just booting directly into Linux? We don't even have a lot of good software in here. There's no Office Suite. I mean, I like that there are multiple web browsers, but other than that, how are there no games? The only thing under amusement is this zoom in ruler thing. Let's get this guy's face. Oh, look at his face. Oh, it's terrifying. Okay, out of curiosity, last thing I want to try. What happens if you put the CD back in while booted into Linux? And I've booted directly back into Linux here, not through Windows first. Is there other stuff we can install? Do you have any goodies? I really want to see some goodies. All right, where would this go? I guess under MNT. CD-ROM. We've got some stuff including live update. What's that do? Press upgrade to start a live upgrade. Okay. I mean, I feel like there's some other stuff that should have been installed, like GNOME. All right, well, after quite a while, that has brought up the installer windows again, asking me if I want to reinstall everything. That's not a good idea. What installation class do you want? Recommended customize. Okay, we're a workstation. You have another one? No. An error occurred. Ask from list, empty list. Ah, good old school Linux stuff. Perfect. Oh yeah, keep giving me this error. This error is great. Oh my god, I can't get out of it. Never mind, I got out. Okay, what else is in here? Mandrake. RPMs. Okay, this is promising. Ooh, here's a bunch of stuff we can install. The Abby suite, which is Abby Word, because we need to do some word processing. Ooh, it's working. Here's K-Package. Lets me install. All right, that was pretty easy. What else can we install in here? Where are the games? Oh my god, Chromium 0.9.6. Yes, absolutely we want that. Oh, this is the game Chromium, not the browser. All right, even better. Dependency problems. Ugh. All right, what dependency? libsdl. Okay, we'll install libsdl. Oh, can I tell this to get RPMs from the disk? I think so. Let's go into mount, CD-ROM, Mandrake, RPMs. Will you show me some? Reload. Oh, it's working. Look at all these packages we can install. The clan lib game SDK. All right, if I want to develop a game, I guess. Lots of x386 stuff. All right, we've got the GIMP. Mark that for install. All right, let's see what it does. Dependency problem. They're all right here. All right, fine. We won't install GIMP. We don't need that. I only want games. Where are the games? How come I don't see Chromium in this list? Oh, no, here it is. All right, install Chromium. It wants libsdl. Okay, let's go find SDL. Okay, there's no libsdl. Aha, up here, SDL. I guess we'll get SDL Mixer. Install. Oh yeah, manual dependencies. That's the way to do it. The KDE crash handler. Why did it crash? I mean, thanks for the cute dragon. I definitely appreciate that, but Signal 11. I just want to play a game. Oh, it's in here now. Okay, let's see. Can I run Chromium? The game Chromium. Ooh, I can. It's beautiful. All right, new game. Oh boy. Well, it is a game. Might not be the best game, but we're gaming on Linux for Windows. All right, so that's Linux for Windows. And I mean, I guess it is what it says it is. You can run Linux from inside Windows, but it's not really as you would expect. When you launch Linux from Windows, you're completely taken out of Windows. So what's the point? Why not just boot into Linux directly and boot into Windows when you need Windows? You don't really have to do all this, and it also doesn't really work right because, well, at least in our experience, Windows never gave up control of the network card, and Linux couldn't use it unless you booted into Linux directly. So the whole point is defeated. In any event, that'll do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoy installing Linux in unusual ways, because there are a lot of unusual ways, especially in the early 2000s, to play with Linux. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more stuff like this, please subscribe down below. And thank you very much for watching. And I just want to give a very special thank you to all of my Patreon supporters and channel members. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for supporting me and supporting this channel and all the weird stuff I do. I am so very grateful, and I just could not do this without you.